Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. Welcome to this stream. I am tuning the music today. We will keep some music in the background. So let's keep it very low. I hope you can hear me well, and I hope you don't hear the music twice. Let me know if you can hear me well. Minar, how are you, buddy? Square Pig, how are you, my man? Welcome to the stream, guys. Today's stream is one of these dailies where we chill together. I will show you guys the process. So this morning I woke up and I was working on this project. I wanted to show you the live link. Today is the first time I really get to use the live link data method to Unreal Engine. And it's really cool. So if you go to 3ds Max and create a teapot or whatever, so we always go with the teapot. When you come back to Unreal Engine, the teapot is here. And anything you do, anything you modify, so let's say I change the segments to this, and maybe I'd like to add 3 copies, and these copies I want to just scale and maybe randomize all of them. I wanted to randomize all of them, but just come back here. Maybe you stay for a second or two and it loads and you wait and it works. So for me, honestly, this all what matters, the ability to quickly to go between the ability to go back and forth between 3ds Max and Unreal Engine during doing my 3D block out, and quickly change shapes, change models, block out things, add more block outs. I'm saying this word a lot, but this is the process I'm going through right now. Discovering the space and start thinking of functionality, how I am going to feel in this space. So this is the process I'm going through. And surprisingly, in Unreal Engine, if you do all of this, like the immersive mode, it's just much more better for anyone who's designing something to walk around their design and fly and like, yeah, this looks right, it's just the right scale, and so on. And if you want, you can add a third person character. You can fall for the first time, it always happened. And let's just do this. So I'm going to save everything. I'm going to press Ctrl B, Ctrl A, and we want to bulk edit via property matrix for the models you imported. I think you might do this every single time you import new models. This will not apply to all of them, but you can do something with data prep where you can automate this process. Maybe we can tackle this in future in like an idea, but in video or article, but just so you know, you can automate this process. Right now, let's just select everything, and with property matrix, we get the ability to access all the settings that we usually access from this details panel here from the static mesh editor. So all these settings, if you want to access all of them on many meshes at the same time, we right click and we go to the property matrix, bulk edit via property matrix. And what we need to do is to enable collision on all of these easily, like for the prototyping phase of our project. I don't think this is optimized. So we go to collision and we go to complex collision mesh. No. Now this is the part where I try to remember where it is exactly, but is there any arrow I can see? Okay. I need it anyway. Yeah, so static mesh, body setup, you enable, like expand this, and collision complexity. Instead of project default, we can use complex collision as simple and like save everything. And now I have in my Word settings the game mode blueprint, the third person game mode. So I quickly add this to all my environment projects, and you can do that from like add feature or content pack. You can select the third person and you can change this from none to any blueprint you actually migrate between your projects, and ultimately you will have your own blueprint with all the settings that you have on top of it that you will keep migrating and use as like basic template to explore your projects. And we cannot do it. I'm too lazy to import it, and I'm starting something from scratch with you here, guys, about building Metaverse environment. We talk about that. Yeah, look at this. Now I get sense of scale, how much traverse I need to do, like traveling from point A to point B to point C. And most of all, and the most important question, what is the purpose of all this structure? I am going to utilize all of this space in this month challenge that we have, that I told you about in the last week. Yeah, I did. So yeah, that's very cool. Imagine doing this on all your projects, whether architectural, metaverse, of course, game development. You start this from the very start. So it's a good practice to do this. To start with Unreal Engine as early as possible in your project, even if you're like doing sketches in Gravity Sketch and any other tools. You can also import these in Unreal Engine and look at them here. There is an artist I love, I adore, his name is Leon Tucker. That's like his process. He doesn't do that in Unreal Engine, but he renders in Cinema 4D, but like, yeah, bringing things where you can explore them, whether in like the game space, third person or first person like this. And by the way, let's say, hey, you want to add the first person, right? Let's do that. Or virtual reality. Having Unreal Engine early in the process of design is like crucial. So here I added the first person add to project, and I added like here. So it's now we have new folders in our project, first person. And usually I like to, at this point, let's get organized from the start, is to color code these. So maybe things with blueprint, they can get the color blue. Is this good blue? We can change it later. But from now on, I can see like these blueprints. And now if I want to change the game mode from the third person to first person, all I need is to click here and find it, BP blueprint underscore first person game mode. And if I click play, I am now in first mode. And I can fly, not fly, walk. You can add a mode where you can fly, switch to drone mode, camera mode. And wait, is it too late? Today is Tuesday. I think this is the last chance you have, just in case, guys, if you didn't claim it yet. I hope you're lucky, but if the marketplace, I saw this, I was interested. I didn't remember to claim them just because yesterday, because I'm digital hoarder. Free for the month. The advanced photo mode, okay? For now, like for the next few hours, this is free. And I still didn't test it, but this seems amazing. This seems nice. So all these advanced camera modes you see in games when you go from like your gameplay to outside to the photographer mode, it looks like all of this is now in Blueprint, clean, organized, and so on. And yeah, it looks cool. So if wow, oh my god, can't move the window, close it. It's so sunny outside, it's beautiful today, so that's why I can't see my screen. If this ends, of course, I would definitely consider like adding this. Watch some reviews, I'm sure there are reviews, but this looks like a great product because like these looks like nice blueprints here. Going back, speaking of blueprints, by the way, the Archphase Explorer and Hillside project tutorial is in progress and it's gonna be out soon. Speaking of blueprint, I will read the chat, answer some questions. So guys, during the stream, again, I will show you the process. Today I'm collecting some images, I'm gonna show you stuff. Oh, let me press Shift 11. Shift 11 would like make this really immersive. And feel free to ask any questions as we go. Can I bring the chat here? No, I prefer to read it here just in case to be safe. Ashish, Ricardo, Square Peg, how are you guys? Yuski24, what's up? Manar, is it work in Cinema 4D also or just in 3ds Max? So are you talking about the live link in 3ds Max? I think, I'm not sure about Cinema 4D, we're gonna check out in a moment. Actually, guys, before I start answering questions, so if you have any question, please write brackets, so like this, as we go, so this is important, and type like question, or like whatever you like, and type your question. It would be easier for me to see it in the chat, especially if it's like question around Unreal, our topic today, or something important, so I just can see it, so it's differentiate. Before we go, just so you know what all of this is about, this environment, and what is this exactly. So there is in our Discord, if you're already with us, if you're not, join us on Discord, there is this, one second, monthly workshop. So this month we have a workshop across the month, across beautiful June. And I pasted my mood board for last stream topics that we just discussed about what type of environments and projects we can build for the metaverse. How can we help businesses, brands, companies digitalize, virtualize their services and goods and display them in an interactive 3D environment. So this is all what is this about. And this month is about teaching you how to create an environment from like scratch, from like selecting, if you have the patience to watch these live streams, of course. So we will do our best in future to cut these into more like to-point videos than streams. But so you will learn how to create an environment, interactive environment, from start to finish. So during every week we have a theme. So this week we're like doing the design and the block out. Next week, more design, materials, lighting. Week after it, we're gonna do blueprints, interactivity, and so on to get you started in the industry around building environments for companies and businesses and people who want to get into this space. If you have any questions about all of this, by the way, during the stream, feel free to ask me. But if you ask me anything, by the way, we at VR Division, so if you're a talented architect, if you're you like to draw parametric and organic architecture and things that out of this world that can't be replicated in real world, get in touch with us. On LinkedIn. So what is the best way to get hr@vr-division.com? Send your CV. There should usually be like process this, but let me show you. Wait, I will share the link with you. This is the best way. We are looking for people, guys. If you're an artist, 3D artist, if you're like talented architectural 3D designer who is good in designing and building spaces and so on. So we're like always looking for talented people to join our team. And second, I will share a link to this with you, but all the new positions that I'm talking to you about will be opened here. And we're working on many cool things. Once we set up at least, so this is on the way. Our marketplace is on the way. I'm very excited about this. It's gonna make the process of building all these environments much easier and unify the pipeline. But now I'm getting too much into many topics. Let me share this link with you guys. And I'm gonna wrap up all of this so we can get to your questions and our project today. So here you'll find the link. Actually, I should paste another link, which is if you want to get notified. So I'm trying to find the right page. Currently we're running a challenge about building a metaverse space, so yours can be like nice and small and beautiful. It doesn't have to be a large project, and it runs from now to the 7th of July. And if you want, like, this is, I imagine in my way, I was like thinking about so how can I put it? If you want to align, I always try to align two things. So if you want to align your learning journey about building something for the metaverse with a real deadline, with amazing prizes, which is the 7th of July, I imagine this is the chance to do so. Expected are our friends. We worked with these amazing people last year in building them. I imagined you saw it earlier on YouTube live, in our YouTube videos, an art gallery in the metaverse space, and they loved it so much. They're building a world around it, and that world around the gallery we built, we are now exploring what are the possibilities in building environments for the metaverse, what functions they are, how they look, do we need the same things we need here today in the real world, do we not, and so on. So we're running a challenge and you can sign up. So there is a link also to this in the description of the video. I'm gonna paste it here. It will take you here and you will get notified with all the information about the challenge, about the workshop, and everything we are discussing today. So I'm going to paste the link to this directly if you want to sign up. And yes, now questions time. I'm not doing that. Is music too loud? How's the music? Ricardo, so your shadows are flickering in the final rendering. Anyone know how to solve this problem? What are you rendering with exactly, Ricardo? Are you rendering with Lumen or baked lighting? Square peg. I have claimed the free assets for the month. Hell yeah, my man. Yep, I'm very excited to use that photo filter. I want to add it to maybe to this project, see how it can be used. It's like, it looks nice to take pictures. Ricardo, when you're rendering in Unreal Engine, so I'm not sure what your settings are, but here's something you can do to decrease how much flickering there is from Lumen. To answer your question about this, it works, but it's not perfect, but this helps decrease flickering in your renders with the movie render queue while you're using Lumen in Unreal Engine. If you go, you're rendering, I hope you're rendering with the movie render queue, and if you don't have the movie render queue enabled, you go to plugins and you search for movie render queue. This should be enabled, and if you want more render passes, you can enable this as well. And when you want to render anything, I have nothing to render here, but in the settings, and you have these settings, click on adding a setting, okay? And the way, like, just to repeat, I clicked settings, unsafe config here, and setting, and we want to add console variables. And start console commands. So click here. So I'm using now 5.1, I think, in this version of the project, because I want Substance plugin. It doesn't work in 5.2 yet. Here you want, no, it's this one first, console variables. Because in 5.2, I think it's somewhere here. It's not the first one or something. Doesn't matter. Here you want to type R screen. Let's just copy it from here. R screen percentage. And you want to set this to as higher than 100% as possible. The default value, I imagine, is 100% in the rendering. So if you can set this to 100% and you have a powerful enough GPU to render this, this will heavily reduce, not heavily, but actually depends on the scenario, but in some scenarios, really like heavily reduce how much flickering there is from Lumen. There are many reasons that's happening, by the way, but today let's see how much we can talk about. Yeah, and keep the output resolution to whatever you're rendering with. So even if it's here like at 200%, you don't need to make this like at 4K unless you want to try and render with 4K if you have the GPU for this, the VRAM. Yeah. So I think this is one of the important. So if you like, I imagine, I don't know, I didn't try 150. I usually try 150 big projects, but like 120 or 30, it might make some difference. But like the best is like to go even, I don't know, because Lumen is screen based in the first software ray tracing, and in a way it counts, I imagine, more screen space than more things Lumen can work with. That's how I imagine. Yeah. Farid. Wait. Oski, how much does it cost to create an Archviz Unreal project? That's an interesting question. It depends on that project, the scale of it, the capabilities. Is it just renders? Is it renders and videos? Is it interactive? What platform and so on? But like healthy range, I imagine like they can start a good Archviz project, let's say. They can start like 10, 15,000 up to hundreds of thousands, if I were to tell you. Like it really depends on the scale of the project. But a product configurator starts at 15,000 like as a base, and they can go up much more than that. So, and these are like very humble numbers. It depends on yeah, on many factors. So if you can tell me more, Oski, maybe we can keep the conversation going. But yep, what is the purpose of these projects? I think that's where it's important. Farid. Yahya, when are you planning? Hi Yahya, of course. Hi Farid, how are you? The using Archviz Explorer, it will be out this week. We're working on editing that video now, but the editing is like, it's not easy. So this time I'm experimenting with different editing style. I was actually thinking if I should go live or not, but it will be out this week. It's planned like in the next couple of days, Farid. You just get hit with more projects. That's how it's going on. But that video, I'm very excited about it. I'm also like don't want to make video that I hit the screen and talk for like 20 minutes and that's it. I really want to make like really good video about using Archviz Explorer on Hillside Sample project, which is an amazing project, and the cinematics, actually how to animate cameras and export cinematics. I'm trying to order it really right, and also not to make it 3 hours or 5 hours. I recorded the whole process, so I'm in the process of editing that. Every morning I'm trying to specify as many chunks of 30 minutes timers. I'm gonna show you. So I have two types of focus, 25 minutes and 1 hour, where I go full realistic. So I'm doing my best to every day to work on it. Yep. But if you're excited, I'm excited, because you should be excited. So Manar, about data math and live link between Cinema 4D and other. So let's see. We can read real quick about it, because I'm also interested in what applications. I know it supports stuff like SketchUp and Revit. Cinema 4D, I'm not sure, but I know it supports more the architectural side of Unreal Engine, I would say. So I would doubt it's available in Cinema 4D, but what we can search for real quick. Yeah, boy, Winbush, what up, my man. Live link, is this for Maya? Yeah, this one is for Maya. I imagine it's getting there. So change direct link. And by the way, to show you how to set up the live link, so the way it works when you have, so I don't think it's on Cinema 4D. I will tell you why, Manar. Because when we go to download the new versions of DataMath, they also changed the way how we export files from our applications. It used to be like somewhere as save as, but now it's its own menu. I know here it says Cinema 4D, so you can import Cinema 4D files, but still, here we have Max, Revit, and so on. When you go to get the plugins, there is no Cinema 4D plugin here because you can import Cinema 4D files natively. So I think you want to find an application on the plugins marketplace or the internet where it imports Cinema 4D files for you in an automated way or something, every 5 minutes or every time you save your file or something like that. It could exist, I don't know, but that's the solution you want. So here, because for DataMath, when we download it on our applications like Max or SketchUp or Revit, Navisworks, and so on, all these good boys. Here, so DataMath, this is the new export menu for you 3ds Max users. If you ever update your DataMath version, it will not be here anymore in the export tab somewhere here. So we used to click export and select DataMath from here. Nope, not anymore. It's here now as like part of the ribbon toolbar. So here I have toggle auto sync or sync manually or export to a DataMath file manually as well, or export selected. So if you select this and export selected, that also works. I like using export to export my whole scene like this, or when I export a scene like an asset like this and click export, it will export just what we see. So yeah, this application, like on date, as I've seen also on SketchUp, there is Live Link and few other applications. So you need to install it on your application of choice, if it exists. And in Unreal Engine, when we go to DataMath, you click on direct link import, and here I imagine you select sources. So if there are multiple applications you have Rhino, or you have maybe another scene of 3ds Max and so on, you see like what is the name of the project, and you click on select, and you update if there is any need to. And when you click select, it will ask you to save it. So if this is the first time you save this, that's okay. But once you restart your engine, it will ask you to save the same file again, the same process, and you can override it. So this is here the name of the file. So the name of the file matters in keeping things organized. Pro Art Blockout 01. And here we have this file, this folder that I import, usually just the geometries. So if I click on DataMath, click OK, it will ask me what I want to import again. In this case, geometry, no textures, no materials. Please import, and that will just make things work. Sorry. Whoa. So here in Max, I need also to toggle auto sync or whatever application I'm using, and now whatever change I do, it works, which is very cool. Can you please stay here? Thank you very much. Manar, if you find anything for Cinema 4D, let me know. Shurbasi, how are you? Shurbasi Abdulhadi Architects. Do you think that Unreal Engine is good for exterior projects? I feel V-Ray and Lumion are more reliable. This is a question I get a lot, and the answer usually it always depends on the type of project you are creating. So if you're like creating images for presentation real quick, or you want something visualized just as a video, quick shot, not a whole cinematic, or maybe there is a whole cinematic and so on. Maybe Lumion works for you like in 2 days because of the library they have, the library you have, and so on. But if you want to use your project for other purposes, like utilizing it as a digital twin or create an interactive application for sales in real estate and so on, then Unreal Engine is the top choice in this, because many features are enabled out of the box for you to get really the best photorealistic type of image and optimization with like stuff, Lumen, Nanite, virtual shadow maps, and so on. So yes, that's the answer. I would learn Unreal Engine to take the services, type of services I provide to the next level. And there is a, keep an eye on the channel, by the way. There is a question your boy Farid asked about in the last two questions, when the new tutorial is coming about using Archviz Explorer. So there is a new video I'm working on, the how to use this. And this is actually a template, great template from Carol Detroit, with everything that you need to get you started in visualizing buildings from outside and their surroundings and the streets and the areas of interest and so on. And what can take you so much work, usually if you are new to Unreal Engine, I would imagine this would take you so many months, to be honest, to do from scratch. So this is also not so hard to learn, and I'm gonna say it's tricky to reverse engineer if you're a beginner, because you need to learn so much about Blueprint, but don't be disencouraged. But yeah, I imagine like this is one of the things, doing the ability to do stuff like this is what makes Unreal Engine powerful compared to Lumion, Twinmotion, and V-Ray and so on. But again, like maybe your client or the job you are tasked to do, it has nothing to do with interactive architecture or any of the other features Unreal Engine offers. So it always depends. These are like, I would learn all of these, by the way, if possible, to achieve different and specific jobs faster, just so you know also. But Shurbasi Abdelhadi Architects, my man, I would definitely 100% put Unreal Engine on the roadmap for me to learn and to look at what are the hard parts about it when it comes to making architectural projects from outside, which is usually the landscapes, the streets, the trees, definitely the trees and the vegetation and so on. Sorry, the people, the cards, and start building your libraries of these assets and files to help you develop the type of projects you do, usually in Lumion and 3ds Max, easily, step by step in Unreal Engine, because in a way it's the future, and it's what will also differentiate you from someone who is just create a picture or just design and so on. Like, you will be able to do more with Unreal on the long run. I 100% recommend doing this. Good question, Shurbasi. Muhammad. Manar, if the music is high, thank you for letting me know. I will check after. Now I lowered it, so let me know if it's good or if it's still too high. Yes, Ricardo, with the Lumen, I hope increasing screen percentage will help you get better resolution. Oski, I hope I got your question answered earlier. Sorry. I'm gonna go down, see if there is more details in the questions or other questions, but I will definitely get back to that. I'm just rereading the chat as we go. Leonal, my dilemma is how to be able to do believing on geometry inside Unreal Engine to give realism. How to be able to be delivering on geometry inside to give realism. That's good question if I understood correctly, but Lionel, if you can elaborate more on your question, is what you are struggling with is creating or achieving something that looks photorealistic? In what area exactly are you talking about? And are you talking about lighting aspects and technical aspects of things, or are you talking about geometry? Like, are you talking about design and 3D modeling aspect of things? Which one? Let me just check on something, guys. All right. Looking good. All right. Apart from Behance, Instagram, and LinkedIn, where can I find clients for ArtFizz works? Thank you for answering. Apart from Behance, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Uske, good question, that's for sure. I can't answer it in one answer, but what you mentioned is great. And imagine now expanding on this list. So this list also realizing it's an area from a subcategory, which is like, let's say, marketing on social media. For this also depends on what type of posts you're doing and so on. But let's say having a website, for example, creating YouTube channel showcasing your projects in some cinematics and some longer form interactive abilities, if there is any, creating a new show reel or plan for it from now, the next show reel you want to create. So you want to expand on this list, and you want to align what you do on weekly basis to achieve, like, what does it take to build my career or my business. And also there is like more to it. It also like, hey, once I create a website, what does it exactly have? What is the user experience? How I am going to promote my services? How I'm going to word them? So if there is anything also very important I've been learning through the years, is like learning the skill of copywriting, right? Because it's so important to demonstrate in like short formats, long formats, depending like whatever formats, what you do, why you do it, and so on. And most importantly, like if you want to if you're like, let's say, starting a company around this, as a company specializing in ArtFizz, hey, and visualization skills, now hey, what are the problems we are solving with this, and who is the target audience? And this will also, like, by target audience, I mean, hey, do you work with architects, or do you want to work with architects and architectural firms, or do you work with real estate peoples and real estate companies and people, those who specialize in selling properties? So do you want to work with those who specialize in selling or specialize in designing? Do you want to create, and so on? Like many questions to ask, and this will also lead to the type of MVPs, minimum valuable products. And I think whether you are a freelance or a company, you have many of these MVPs that can be demonstrate how Unreal Engine is good in architecture for this scenario, for this group of people, and so on. So ASCII, this will take time. It could take like month and month, like month, not month with S, of planning and executing and so on. But try to create something also like versions, So in a month, so 4 weeks, 4 sprints, if you think about it, like you can create the core features of your application. So now this goes into how you're going to plan your project and set the milestones and so on. But I hope this will not be a challenge. Well, it is if you want to create something very unique and something that gets you like so big and so on. But as for the basis, if you don't have something like this, to get started, should be very easy. So if you need any questions around that, or you have any other questions, Whiskey 24, ask. Thank you. Data of Myth or FPX workflow? A question from your boy Ricardo. It depends. For me, I prefer working with data of Myth because there are specific use cases where I use 3ds Max and Unreal Engine together to create my workflow, my concepts. But you may have a complete different workflow where you need to export FPX files of your architectural projects for some reason. But for examples, hey, let's say we are exporting assets of a piece of furniture that can be reused across many projects, then yes, definitely FPX file, because it's more standard, and it can be, you don't need to open Unreal Engine to export these FPX files from Unreal to outside, just in case if you needed to. So save FPX of everything, right? If needed, of course. But I'm talking about your assets, but your architectural blockouts and designs, and at least like in the early stage for now, data file is great. The live link. I have been using DataSmith, not the FPX workflow, in all my architectural and metaverse projects for the past, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, since like not since it was early, after it got outside to everyone, and after it got few improvements because I was using plugins to export FPX files, but they take so much time in general, especially when it comes to projects where you have thousands of different separated pieces. That's why I prefer DataSmith. It's way much faster for projects like this. FPX is great to preserve your library of assets and final buildings and so on, if you want to archive things. Brother Xavier, Mamman, how are you? What's up, Brusky? Did you get your tea and groceries and all that good stuff? Vok, is it Vok or Vuk? Mamman, how are you? When will the digital workshop start? It already started. So just to be clear, in the pages here we have in the academy, let me open the other page. So I asked you guys to join. And what is important is for you to start creating your mood board and blocking out your environment and any idea you have. And where is it? The page here on the academy, there is the structure for now, how this will go. And at the end of every like 2 weeks, we will be collecting all the materials and the bullet points and things we discussed, and update any bullet points or videos. But for now, all the videos are on YouTube here together. So these videos will be in its own playlist, and there is just one video last week where I discussed, if you can watch it on X2 speed if you want, but I discussed very important topics about why we do create these environments, what is their purpose, and who are like the potential clients in this area. So I created like scenarios that you can choose from, and I collected some images, and like I demonstrated, hey, sorry, we already do this in real life for many industries. So imagine what we build for whether our personal brand or client in a virtual space. So like companies like furniture and fashion and so on. So the idea is to finish something that is like, you imagine, like don't go big. That's very important for me. I scaled this project at least 6 times. Just scale. Don't go big, and yeah, still so big. So and the timeline for it is the 7th of July to is the last day for submission. So what we require is like 3 pictures and so on. So tomorrow the every Friday, sorry again. So every Friday we have events on Discord at 3 p.m. UK time, where we will be allowing anyone to come up on stage. You can share your screen and we can discuss your project and any problems you are currently seeing as you're designing these areas, especially if you never worked on something like this before. And we can like exchange tips, ideas, and solutions and so on for your projects. And yeah, that's the workshop. So today, like the stream is it just one of these daily days at the office. Here I am today, chilling, drinking one glass for coffee, one glass for tea, and showing you guys what's behind the scene. It's funny, I still didn't do anything yet. I just show you how cool data math is. But I want to show you like the process, what I'm doing behind the scenes from week to week, so I can make also some progress. So Vuk, if you want to participate in the workshop and the challenge, there is the links I posted earlier. And actually I need to just pin it to be easier. Would it be easier? I don't know. This link, you can read much more about sorry, it's this link. You can read much more about everything you need about the workshop and the challenge as well, and creating your environment. VR interactive architecture tutorials when? Through share. That's a good question, sir. I am working on like prototyping stuff now, and there is so much to put together in order to make something. When it comes to VR, I'm hoping now maybe with 5.3 it would get some love. I really hope so, but it's getting some love. Hopefully, at least for the documentation. I hope soon. No promises now. It's not on the radar for the next few months, to be honest with you, through share. But the idea of creating a video to create something to get you started is like it's on the list. So right now, as you know, guys, this is by the way for everyone. If you are a VR developer and you want to create a VR developers beginner tutorial in Unreal Engine, please reach out to us. We're looking for people. Hey, you know how to create tutorials, or you want to learn how to make tutorials? So we go through the process to make sure some standards are up to how we usually work on videos, and we can collaborate on making videos. So I always, because think of requests, and I always ask what you guys type of tutorials you want to watch. And now some of our cool people in the team, Deep, for example, they are now learning how to create videos, and we have an Arabic channel, secret project, for the academy. That's where we're like posting videos. So you already seen Arabic videos from AJM, and there are English videos on the channel about building the space, and there are two amazing people also, your boy Xavier and Sam, where we have more tutorials. So when I started the channel VR Division, like one of the things I had in mind, I want to make this like a forum for people to come and speak, give something useful to others that they think is useful and of value. And of course, full credits and like whatever type of collaboration, we will talk. So yeah, feel free to reach out. And remember, I spoke earlier about, yeah, that's enough. Let's get to more questions. Tushar, so I have a friend in mind that I wanted to talk to for many weeks now, and he has a project that he's been so busy about, but he's amazing VR developer. We worked together on like many projects in the past. I will reach out to him again and ask him if he's available to make us a nice video, nice tutorial in the upcoming few weeks, maybe. So that's a possibility. I'm doing my best, man. Cheers. I really hope to make VR series on the channel. We're called VR Division, bro. Where's your VR tutorials? I feel you. So that pressure exists. We're working on it. But the curriculum I'm working on for the next few months is like really comprehensive. It's everything you need. And we're taking things step by step. And by the way, just so you know, the way we're doing this, there are around 10 sessions that you will see. This will be in its own page soon. I need to work. But starting Unreal Engine from scratch. So the way we're developing this, since I'm not sure, yeah, is academically. So there is the core principles of Unreal Engine. This will be like 10, and it's so actually level 1 is 6. So there are also multiple levels. Level 1 is 6, level 2 is 4, but here we have level 1 with this Unreal Engine amazing tutorial that teaches you how to create beautiful architectural projects if you're interested. And imagine, like, so it's taking Unreal Engine step by step, because when you go to a place like Unreal Engine, and here, for example, the logic for me was, okay, we designed a chapter about introduction, crash course of Unreal, how to use it, what shortcuts, UI, blah, blah, blah. And then learn about materials. Materials are, in my opinion, so important, because anyone can, like, as a start, and I want to give assignments and homework, can work with, like, importing an FBX file, data flat files, like any tutorial out there is there. Then lighting, lumen, dynamic lighting, what is, how to start optimizing mesh, and then content, and so on. So the same will be for the virtual reality course we're creating. It will be like really, really step-by-step, comprehensive, with a purpose type of course. And the reason we're doing this as like at the academy, and I didn't say it, wait, um, because I still didn't make an official announcement. I'm so happy about this, but we became last year an authorized training center, and we want like to make the best tutorials we can make. So restructuring many things, how we make videos and so on. But if you look at Unreal, so going to topic, when you learn, like, the reason I recommend Unreal Engine, this is to address your question earlier. If you're still here, can't find the question. To address the question earlier on, like, hey, should I use Unreal Engine or Lumion or V-Ray or whatever it is to visualize my project? And I say, again, like, it depends on the project, but the benefit of learning Unreal Engine and putting the engine on your radar, and now, for example, use it in architecture, it's because the skills you will learn are all unified, right? So think about it like in our courses. Like, I'm not gonna make you watch the same structure of Unreal Engine introduction 10 times for different industries you want to learn. So it's like a step-by-step process, right? So you can start with architecture with using Unreal Engine, and like explore, like, architecture by itself. It's like such a massive industry, right? There's so much you can do in here. It's like so many problems there are, and so on. And you can expand on other industries, games, film, and so on. So that's the benefit of learning Unreal. And now, like, I imagine in the future it will be somewhere. Maybe, yeah, more yes cases for now, but Metaverse, retail, virtual shopping, for example, because Metaverse not gonna work. It's such a stupid word. Thank you, Mark. Did you guys see the new headset from Apple yesterday? The Vision Pro. I'm gonna tell you, it's not cheap. Amil Jar, how are you? How is it going? Hello. Johnny. Yes, so also with Unreal Engine getting more popular, I bet that even offline renderings will be ported to it. We already have Octane render for Unreal. It's only a matter of time until we get V-Ray 2, in my opinion, honest opinion. I agree with your opinion, Johnny. And you're right about Octane. It's already amazing. And V-Ray in the past had an experiment. I don't know if they're still uploading it to the latest versions of Unreal, but yes, the use of Unreal Engine, like, this proves it for you. Unreal Engine should not only be used, like, if any of any of us guys using Unreal Engine and learning Unreal Engine, it should not only be used the tool we use to like just to generate architectural renders, because any program can do that. Like, what is beyond using Unreal Engine for architectural renders and cinematics and so on. So that's where the power of the type of projects and problem solving skills will increase with the Unreal projects you will work on, in my honest opinion as well. Interactive interior tutorial. So true share buddy. For interactive and blueprints, we will be talking about the blueprint in the fourth week of this challenge if you want to learn. And we'll definitely be touching on more interactivity in the future, because we have a plan for the next month for a cool workshop. I'm gonna tell you about it later, but it also includes interactivity. So make sure you will be there too, my man. These are good requests. Thank you. I just need to drink some water, guys, but I forgot my glass. Raymond, good morning. How are you? How is it going? C-Tech, C-Tech Tunis, how are you? How is it going, guys? Do you have any tips for Blender to Unreal Engine workflow? Xavier, are you watching? Do you have any tips for Blender Unreal Engine workflow? I I have my very humble Blender tips, but I keep repeating them the same over and over. It's about time we bring Xavier to talk about Unreal Blender workflow. What do you think, Xavier? Are you here? Raymond, it's good to see you. Welcome. Oh, Xavier, you didn't go. Maybe we missed you. Yes, the bevel is small soft corners on every edge in real life. This is reflecting to your question earlier. So the beveling effect, right now I'm creating that manually in my current blockout. I don't know if there is a plugin exists. I'm sure there is. I saw them in the renderers. But what I'm doing, I'm just doing traditional edit poly. So let's say, wait, why this? Let's just add here. So when I have an object like this and I want to add bevels, so right now it's not much. I just add like support loops, and this needs to be fixed, that's for sure. This is not the best geometry. So here, for example, if I want to keep this, if you're like preserving the shape, this is definitely not gonna do it here, or you need to fix the smoothing as well. Let's just do it on something simple, because this here is a straight mesh. It doesn't work on it, and I don't want to, like, this just very quick concept I did. So when you have like an object like this, just make simple box. So you may like, so in like when you're exporting things to Unreal Engine, you are technically exporting 3D mesh, a geometry, and you may need to apply this as a chamfer like this on the mesh itself, or You can add like Swift loops. So with chamfer, we can kind of do that as well. And add a turbo smooth modifier or anything that subdivide in Blender. So, of course, we need to care for geometry. If our project is for VR or it needs to run on pixel streaming, we need like really high performance. So we need to reduce the amount of topology or use more advanced techniques where you bake like high poly to low poly and so on, and which is preferable, of course, in like big type of projects because for consistency of assets. I need to adjust my setting, so give me a second. I'm looking at the questions. So soon I need to wrap up the stream because it's been an hour and I have like hour and 15, 20 minutes. So look at any other questions and I will tell you today like where I am at this point, how I got here and some things I have been brainstorming. So you just learn more about how you can also approach the thinking of your project, okay? And by the way, guys, let me check something. What? Nothing to add, all is good. Okay. Taking few questions. Leonel, regarding the beveling on the edges, that definitely gives realism because if you look in the real life as well, there are no surfaces with these extremely sharp, mathematically correct edges. So this is something definitely needs. I usually add this to the geometry of my meshes of the project I'm working on at the almost at the very end of a project because this means that the design is now approved and nothing will ever change because this is in a way when you apply it on the mesh it's kind of destructive. So we leave it not to the end but like to the final step when okay design is like approved 100%. That's where we start adding these effects. Sorry. How long did it take you to learn Unreal Engine? Oski24. To make my first project, it took me like 3 months, 2 months, I think 3 months. And that was in 2015. And now it's still like I honestly have no idea in about all the new amazing things in Unreal and the other tools that exist. So I've been using the engine for 3 months to make my first project, but I've been using it now for 8 years, but I don't consider myself as someone who knows everything about Unreal Engine. So I think no one can achieve that. It's level 100. It can take anyone, in my opinion, from few days to few weeks to handle using Unreal Engine and getting as a junior or intern, like not intern or a junior, sorry, to get the basics of using Unreal Engine for a specific industry, and then it then can take you so many years, many years to master Unreal Engine in specific industry or something. I don't know, but yeah, and the same applies not for Unreal, it applies everywhere, right? So the more I learn, the more I think, oh, I need to learn more. Babatonda Alaka, is this name right? Hello. Walaikum salam, brother. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing good. Baba Tunda. Did I pronounce it correctly? Hope you're doing good, having a good day, good week, having a beautiful tea or coffee. I have both. Yeah, 3,499, 300, aka 3,500 for these headsets. That's crazy. And from Unreal Engine point, it's nice to see that Epic made compatible with Silicon, Apple Silicon. Yes, it's really good to see how more accessible, like on the long run, this is the best choice for everyone, in my opinion. Like for Epic, for Apple, for the developers, being able to easily and like develop for that platform. And sorry, in more platforms in general. But they need 3D. Everything we saw is just 2D. And I think, yeah, this is great opportunity for people and developers to start actually considering and looking at these headsets and see how can I also create applications and things for this, because that's I think the good steps to think about for the long term. So I really hope like the that VR would become more accessible. Well, not now, but in the, let's say, version 2 or version 3 of the headset to people, and yeah, more and more adaptable. But it's not as VR as much as also AR. So it's like both, which is amazing. Like mixed reality, that's how it should be. It should be like instant switch between augmented reality, my place, my room, and full virtual world. So let's wait and see. That's my opinions on it so far. But yeah, it's great to see advancements in this area from anyone. So they can like, yeah, now it's been 10 years about this. Let me stop the music because I think it's switching. I don't know what it is exactly. I work with Blender, and I think my biggest tip is that if you export your scene as JLTF, you can import using data thread. Yes, Johnny, this is absolutely right. Uh, uh, I start in Blender. I started exporting as JLTF, and I never looked back. I didn't download any community script or anything, or like just native Blender tools. That was the best option for me, since in Unreal Engine we have JLTF data math importer, just so you know, guys, and we can enable it. Usually, it's enabled if you're using the architectural template. If not, you're gonna find it in plugins, and you're gonna type JLTF data math importer. Good tip, Johnny. Thank you for the reminder, and that's a good workflow indeed. Tumbal, hi, what is your lighting setup for interior without outdoor light? So if I know I am not going outside at all, like, so usually like in most cases for Lumen, like I don't, it depends on the project to be honest, but I always try to, you have the option to vary, to try the default architectural lighting setup, whether it works for interior or exterior. Like the question, to be honest, uh, I don't have a setup for interior without outdoor light, because unless you're talking about creating a night scene Tumbal, then that's completely different. The same setup you use, the same lighting rig, if you use is like with Lumen, is like fully dynamic. So if you have like an interior area like this, let's just make sure that we have skylight set to real-time capture. And if we're having a scene like this, then we need to place lights. And these artificial lights should be placed where they make sense, if I understood you correctly. However, to go back to the point I was trying to say, so yeah, I use Lumen like this for most of my projects, and it can achieve nice lighting once I add all the materials and all. I use HDRIs if I want to like control lighting based on HDRI image. So I can add that either to my skylight or add the HDRI backdrop and light my scene. Depends, like especially if it's interior, let's say with small window where you're not gonna see everything, HDRI might work. And for the best results in terms of visuals and performance, then I would do light bake. But this means we are not using lumen anymore. We're not using dynamic lighting, and we are not using yeah, both. What is the word? Yeah, it's like static light. It's just one area. You can't change mesh, you can't do anything, but it gives you the best performance and the best visual. Bait lighting still. And that goes for both projects. And in bait lighting, you can either like place all your lights and everything, or place an HDRI light. And yeah, it goes for all of these. Do you have any samples of elevations made with Unreal? I didn't fully understand, but there is a sample project that you can check out in the marketplace called Archface Explorer. And you can check out the recent project from Epic, Neoscape, and Safdi Architects, the hillside sample from Habitat 67. So this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful project with many useful assets, vegetation, trees, furniture, blueprints, and so on, that you can check out, my friend, Shurbasi. It's very good. I saw a great video about bubbles and glow, go to use them to make some objects appear bigger or smaller. Is it about a plugin, Raymond? And the concept is to use small bubbles for large objects and large bubbles for small props. That is right, sir. It makes scene look more realistic. If you ever find that video, I'd really appreciate it if you share it. These are good tips. Tips. These are good tips, Raymond. Thank you. إبراهيم عصفور كيفك؟ How are you doing? شو الأخبار؟ It's a pleasure to see you. How are you, Ibrahim? Okay, we will wrap up soon. It's my pleasure, Shubasi. I think I said that. So we wrap up soon, and what I've been doing, or let me talk to you a little bit about the area of design so far. And so I initially chose with my team like many months ago. This is not very new project. Like this is a concept in terms just some shapes. So I'm kind of cheating. Don't follow along with big project if you want, but I thought maybe anyway. So the shape here is inspired by one of the company ProArt, like their mouse dial something shapes, and I had this shot in my mind, ending with that. I don't know, it's just an idea, and the idea we were like sketching, we knew okay, we want something cylindrical, and that cylindrical shape can be divided into rooms, and these rooms, depending on where is the entrance. By the way, let's also ignore this because it's a stupid test. Where is the entrance area? So here could be the lobby, and here these could be like display rooms, and other type of rooms that I will show you what I took notes of. So from auditorium to display to uh, interactive timeline or so on. Here, I'm not so sure if I'm gonna put a park, put a view, put whatever crazy ideas I might have, or even make it like imagine something interactive in such space. Hey, look, because I hide some objects. they also go away from here. Anyway, so yeah, imagine standing here as like a participant in the area and like checking something big happening here. So that's like also one of the ideas I have. But the problems I'm trying to solve now is like I still feel the area is too large, so I still have like I want to make this even smaller, right? Because it's still too big. But that's my problem. It's okay, don't worry about it. And I imagine I'll be using like something like Word Creator to build the landscape around. So I want something beautiful in terms of imagery. We will see, but we have like big windows. And can I get back my ceiling, please? Thank you so much. It looks like there is a problem. So how many meshes we have of this? So here we have one, hide, two, three meshes for some reason. So I hope that live data math would not be causing these a lot. I will test it and I will let you know, but I'm excited that it has these. But now I'm not gonna delete anything. That's interesting. Let's see from here. Oh, okay, look at that. Oh, we have three of everything. Okay. So in this case, which is the latest? We don't know. So select this and press Ctrl Shift D to select everything inside and delete a copy. Click yes, it will leave us just one of these. And I think this one is missing some stuff. Yep. So how would we fix this? Actually, I don't think it does. It's good. Nothing is missing. So I can duplicate this guy, make sure it's updating. Let's make sure also is an instance. Let's come back here. Here is our guy. Now the question is here an instance? Yes, they both use the same mesh. If we make a copy, so let's see. That was fast. So this is now a new mesh. This is static mesh number one. And now this is a copy we just did, not an instance. It's a different mesh. So that's something important to keep in mind. Now, because I don't have lights and stuff enabled, we can wrap up quickly with that. So I'm gonna like click re-import and add lights. But this is something perhaps we're gonna do more in the next stream. But I usually place all my lights in Unreal Engine. That's okay. So OmniLight, will this go away? And target, will this be a sun? And what about this spot? Will they come? These guys. Because we have these mannequins ready to say hello to the lights. Oh, nice. So we have a directional light. This is a directional light, like that's beautiful. It got all the same settings and all. We got the Omni light, which is a spotlight, and sorry, the point light. We have a spotlight, which is the spotlight. So that's also very cool. Now, how about V-Ray and stuff? I don't think I have them, nor Corona, but I'd love to try that in the future. Um, yep, so let's delete them from here instead of doing that in Unreal. Is this right? It's okay. It's right. Tumbal Vex. Hi again. Sometime I got noise in interior with Lumen. I can fix that with additional layering, but sometimes it made a glitch. Did you know how to fix it another way? I also use emission, but it add more noise. That's right. So when you add emissive materials to your project and you have a surface like this and you create an emissive material, it will generate noise around it in a way no matter what. But imagine these are like now small areas and so on. This will so you always need to support your emissive surfaces with real lights to reduce the noise. Now, to reduce in the render, Tumbal, this question in a way came before, and my answer was when you're using the movie render queue, and if you are adding any console commands, if you don't have, you can go to movie render queue to the settings to the console variables, and here you add a console variable, and we need to type screen percentage. So here when you type r dot screen percentage, this is usually like set on 100 in the render settings, I imagine. And you need to set this to 200 if possible, or 150 so you can see a result. But if it's possible to set it to 200, this will render your screen in like 200 size, and then we scale it down to 100. And Lumen, because it works in a way on screen-based elements behind the scenes, it uses some screen percentage for, I think, more information about these nice photons to process. So more screen area for Lumen works. Just help it works. So I hope this works, helps you in your project, Tumbal, in your renders. Guys, I need to close. So before I go, I will be working on this environment. I will be figuring out more areas and more ideas. I will do record. I'm recording my process when possible. And if you want to check out the mood board I'm making, so I'm adding like, so this area I told you earlier, I want to, so in the same link I added on Discord earlier, you can find the scenarios, you can find the mood boards for some of the scenarios I discussed in the first call, not call, in the first session last week together. And this is like the pro art project I'm working on. So it's like a case study for in the retail industry, let's say. And I chose these guys because I like their laptop. And here are my like suggested areas. So it could be like lobby or welcome area. There will be an area where we can interact with products. It can be interactive, and I'm gonna get back to this. So Ethereum, history and values, and so on. Like you can even see how. So each case is unique. So okay, so I'm trying like to do this. Of course, if you have any questions as we go, feel free to ask like always at any time what you want. So this is a basic mood board. I'm building this as I go. And speaking of like the products and interactive areas, like if you look at how they use or whose people they are marketing their products for, like I got this information, for example, from their website. So this is my process of studying a brand. When we are working with any brand, we go through like their colors, their websites, their social media, what they talk about, who's their audience is, and so on. And yeah, from their website, for example, you can see like they work in these three industries. These are like industries they sell their products for, and these are the type of products they sell, and these are the type of pages they have. So people who work in product design and manufacturing, people, graphic designers, AEC people, you and I guys, film making, video editing, and so on. And they have some cool examples. I don't know, like things I don't know if I could imagine a space for film, video, and editing where, sorry, where you have some cool cool elements like they do here in this photo shoot, but virtually, maybe with a twist. That twist can come somewhere from definitely Pinterest. Where is my Pinterest? Yeah. So I was collecting some pictures this morning and inspirations for, you know, Pinterest is amazing. The reason I love Pinterest is every time you click on an image, it will show you things that are kind of similar to that image. Like, even though I'm using Midjourney in my, I will be using Midjourney in my, what I'm going, but I don't think it will, I thought at the start, oh wow, this will replace Pinterest for me. I think that was not so true because Pinterest is great to generate even the initial ideas. And again, once you click on an image you like, you will see like many images around that image and explore more in that space and topic. So if you're not using Pinterest to develop and come up with ideas for your designs, I would definitely create an account. I'm sure most of you guys have. So just create an account and create a board for your I have a board on my personal profile. It's called Exhibitions of the Future something. You can check out. Yeah. So here I'm adding sometimes some cool pins I see. So I thought about like big displays. They would look cool like this. So an area like big display like this could be like placed here to fill some area, maybe customized even more. So that's the thought process in the design. And also the question like, hey, what I am going to showcase on this, that goes to the mood board you are creating of the project and like the areas you're making and so on. So ultimately, like you're designing a video game, but without the gameplay elements. And in video games, sometimes you get to very cool environments where they show very cool screens and in futuristic places and so on. None of it is interactive because that's a video game, but the interactive or what it could be, that's the part, let's say, you guys are doing, which is exploring how to utilize um, areas. So that's like a good practice to start like from futuristic video games, like one of my favorite ones. Um, I forgot. There is two. Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. So many potential for areas. So much potential for areas in that game. And Star Citizen. Star Citizen, yes, that's definitely such a great, beautiful game. Um, because they design for massive spaces. Um, yeah, they really stand out. Like the art direction and so much to get inspired from Star Citizen, the game in general. I think this is great resource for artists to look at because since like they started the development of this game like 10 years ago, they've been just posting and creating videos. So they also have amazing videos. Star Citizen environment. I'm not so sure. Devlogs, where they show more images, and I need to find something and show you guys, but they show like all these images they're talking about, but in work in progress, and they talk about decisions and design decisions and use case scenario and so on, which is like for those who know this game, like this game is almost Second Life, but virtually. It's crazy. And they have amazing art style. So if you go to ArtStation, search like Star Citizen environment art, you're gonna find amazing, cool concepts that you can explore, and some of them could be implemented in your project. Not all of them. I don't imagine these environments, but for example, the lighting here is very nice, and so on. You can see how this like lighting you can see it in Pinterest, but how is it applied in games? Then something like Substance Painter, and so on. Like if you're looking at the cool emissive stuff. All right, guys. No more questions, it seems. Tumbal, thank you too, buddy. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. We're gonna again like share the process with you. See me here tomorrow, after tomorrow, but definitely on Thursday at 5 p.m. UK time. And don't forget to join us. So you already have the links. Let me put the page here. Yes, you already have the links. You can read more about the challenge, the prizes, and the requirements, and so on. And you can sign up through the link here for the challenge, and we will also email you about everything you want to know about the this month Metaverse workshop. And we will be reaching out in future once we set everything like apart with like in. So yeah, that's like, if you want to join us. To be a pleasure. All right. Thank you all for being here today. Wish you all a great rest of the week. We're still at the beginning. It's Tuesday. Stay strong, stay amazing, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye. Here's some music. Let's make it fancy. Fancy stream ending. I did it before we start today. So here's the stream ending. Cheers, guys.